Well, I guess Conrad will find some time in the next, maybe next week, to go over this again. You remember a former French president who's also been investigated over those ties with Libya and the French elections and all of that. And this coming through again for a billionaire, a French tycoon, Monsieur Afrique. This looks like some very things Marcus will talk about. But let's just have some good news on the table, shall we? We have, today was going to be very heavy on NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange with the Amazon, Microsoft, Intel, and all the techie giants reporting their quarterly numbers. Any of these numbers sticking out in particular for you, Conrad?
Well, what really sticks out is Amazon. The company is only called by another name now here on the trading floors, and that's amazing, because the numbers that Amazon presented were so amazing. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon and its largest shareholder, he has seen another $8 billion added to his net overnight, because of the strong increase of the share price of Amazon after those numbers came out last night. So that is really sticking out. What's also very interesting, also from a European point of view, is what Sony had to say, the large Japanese electronics giant. It has reported that the first quarter earnings were a little bit weak because of the weakness of the US dollar in the period of the first 3 months of this year. And this is something that many companies here in Europe, in the Eurozone, also got to feel. The relatively strong euro during the first quarter had a negative impact on the earnings reports of many of our exporters. That's why the earnings report season here in Frankfurt is not that enthusiastic, compared at least to what's going on in the United States. At least the German share index DAX, you see, it can slightly climb here in trading on the last trading day of this week. If the DAX ends trading tonight where it is right now, it will at least have added another 0.5% in the course of this trading week. So not so negative after all.
No, not so negative for you folks in Frankfurt. So take the weekend off, Conrad, will you? Enjoy the good rally on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange for the week. And let's look set for next week when we wrap up the month of April. Conrad Wilson, great day. Goodbye for now to you and your team at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. On behalf of Channel Television, DWTV correspondent. And of course, those numbers from Amazon, Microsoft, and the rest of the big techies is rallying. The NASDAQ futures by now sidestepping both the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500. The NASDAQ futures up 0.37%. U.S. stocks look set for a mixed open on Friday after surging on the previous sessions on a slew of strong corporate earnings. And as we speak, we have the numbers from ExxonMobil and Chevron. Those two numbers don't look too particularly good. One of them not too good. ExxonMobil reporting better than expected numbers. Also in focus today is the first quarter estimate of the U.S. economic growth called the GDP. That number is already out as we speak. Slows to 2.3%. The world's largest economy reporting a slowdown to 2.3% in the first quarter. Last quarter, 2014 or 2007, I beg your pardon, 2017, yes, 2.4%. Then we're looking at the numbers now that are looking a lot different for the U.S. The first quarter does not top expectations for 2% growth. What does this mean for the U.S.? Still a lot of stories. Business investment breakout, an indicator to watch today. We have the Consumer Sentiments Index as well as a few other key economic data. What are the benchmarks looking like as we speak? And the Dow Jones futures, you can see that 0.35%. That's raising a little bit back, claw back a bit of that to 0.25 right now. The S&P a negative 0.12%. That was about an hour and a half ago, 0.20%. We may still see a decent open today on the those markets on Wall Street. Let's push that one side and go to Asia, where the markets finished nicely on Friday. Investors watch for developments from the Korean Peninsula. The markets also reacted to the Bank of Japan's decision to keep its monetary policy on hold, leaving the short-term interest rate target at a minus 0.1%. Looking at the numbers, the Japan's Nikkei 225 advanced 0.66%. The Australian ASX 200 gained 0.72%. while the Chinese mainland markets also rose, with the Shanghai Composite adding 0.23%. In Hong Kong, the Hang Seng Index added 0.67% in late afternoon trade. Now, the global investment bank Renaissance Capital says 2018 looks good for troubled Lafarge Africa. RenCap believes 2017 was a clean-up year for the cement maker, noting that Lafarge's current share price is at a discount to its fair value. RenCap bases rating on Lafarge's 32% rise in earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, simply known as EBITDA. Lafarge's first quarter 2018 earnings shows a net loss of 2.02 billion Nigerian naira. And South Africa's businessman Crystal Waste is seeking a $5 billion compensation from crisis-hit Steinhoff as he seeks to claw back investments he made before the share price of that company crashed amid an accounting scandal. Waste was a board member of the same company and the biggest shareholder until he resigned last December after Steinhoff uncovered accounting irregularities. The current legal claim, which is potentially the biggest in South Africa's history, represents a major setback for Steinhoff, the company battling to stay alive and keep more than 12,000 stores in 30 countries in operation. We have more for you here on Business Incorporated when we come back.